Okay, I believe there is a package for me outside. Okay, it's very wide.
Very large package arrived.
Let's bust this thing open. It's such a very large box for a small box inside. Here's a sense of scale for the box that they shipped it in, and here's the box of the actual thing. First and foremost, before we look at anything, we have a bag, which contains this thing. This is the quick guide instruction manual. USB-C cable, whammy bar, power brick thing for the USB-C cord, whatever this little black stick thing is, and some little Allen keys. Now the fun part. Alright, so as you can see, we've got a pretty standard gig bag here. Nothing too crazy, nothing too wild. But I think we're all here to see what's inside this bad boy. How nice of them to put a little snack in there for you. That's a joke. Don't eat those. Ooh. That feels pretty nice, actually. Let's get this thing off of here. It feels very different from what I'm used to. I will say it's a very light guitar. It feels very kind of compact. You can see it's got 2 single coils and a humbucker. It has a pickup selector, and you can also split the coils on the bridge pickup, which is nice. And this little button right here, I'm pretty sure has to do with this, the speaker. So the whole deal with this guitar is that this built-in speaker actually has amp presets and stuff like that on it. Oh, it powered on. I don't know what to do though. Okay, perhaps we should tune it first. My bed is just a pile of boxes now. By default, it was in D standard, which I find interesting. Alright, so probably by now I should say that this video is going to be a review on the Enya Inspire Guitar. The lovely folks over at Enya were kind enough to send me one of these so I could make a review on it. As I mentioned, this guitar has 2 single coils and a humbucker that you can split. It is also made of carbon fiber, which is pretty cool. It has a one-piece construction where the neck and the body are just one whole thing. It came set up pretty nicely. The action is pretty low, pretty comfortable. They come in a few different colors, but I decided to get the black and purple burst finish because I think it looks sick. I feel like purple guitars are pretty far and few between, and I like purple a lot, so I thought this was a good choice. I'm pretty sure they're all matte finishes, which looks really cool and feels really nice as well. Also, this right here is used to adjust the tremolo system in the back here, and the truss rod in the neck is adjusted by a little mechanism inside here above the neck pickup. And the main feature of this guitar is obviously the built-in speaker. To activate it, you press and hold down this, and then you can also twist this knob to adjust the volume of the speaker as well. But also, if you press the button, it will cycle through presets that are inside of this guitar and the speaker system. So that is definitely an issue that I noticed right off the bat. It might have something to do with my settings. It seems like the speaker tends to build up a bit of feedback and kind of sustain like forever. Obviously, you're not going to be playing like that, but it's a good thing to note. This is a bit more of a clean tone amp. So apparently there's also an app wherein you can adjust the different parameters on each of these presets, because I think there's only really like 5 or so presets that you can choose from in here. Alright, so I'm going to give you a better idea of what the presets are on this thing. So this one, the blue one, this just sounds like a relatively clean amp with a little bit of breakup. This is definitely my favorite. In my opinion, it sounds the best, and I like how it has a little bit of ambience to it, but nothing crazy. This preset, which is kind of like a light blue, this one is way more distorted. This preset, the pink or purple one, pretty similar. It's heavily distorted, but it's also got some delay on it. Then the last preset, the green one, this is probably my second favorite. It's quite a bit quieter than the blue one, but it's a very clean amp with almost no distortion. Alright, so as much as I want to keep playing this guitar right now, I actually do have to go to work, unfortunately. But when I return, I'm going to be plugging this thing in and testing how it sounds DI and through my amp and through my pedals and all that kind of stuff. But honestly, I'm really liking it so far. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is a few days later, but for you, it's only a few seconds later. But I think it's finally time to hear how this thing sounds plugged in. It is so strange to see a headphone jack and a USB-C when you're used to just seeing an output jack. But now we test the sound. Well, it makes sound, so that's good. Alright, so first and foremost, we're just going to test out how all the pickups sound. Yeah, so they all sound pretty good. They all sound like a guitar. So that is interesting. I wasn't sure if it would do this, but if you turn on the little speaker button while it's plugged in, you actually get the sound of the little, like, technically practice amp that's built inside of here. Which is a pretty cool feature for somebody who doesn't really have like amp simulator plugins or an actual amplifier. I wouldn't say the presets are professional studio quality or anything, but it's pretty good to have if you're in a pinch. But I think now we need to go ahead and plug this thing in to my amp. First we need to move all of these guitars because I desperately need a guitar stand. Okay, I have it on a strap now so I can walk around with it. The strap actually fits really well. Sounds good. I'm really curious though, if we turn this on, amp through an amp. Doesn't sound horrible like that. It just is a little bit tinny and it introduces some noise, but I'm using this in ways that it's not meant to be used. But I figured I'd try it. Let's use some pedals, shall we? DS1 on. Sounds good, man. Sounds like a guitar. Honestly though, plays really well, plays really comfortably. So yeah, now I think it's only right that we try to make a little song with this thing. Alright, so we're gonna record the amp with my SM57. And place it onto the speaker. Now I'm just gonna mess around a little bit and see if I can get a chord progression that I like. Alright, now that we got that, we can record some melodies. We're gonna do some harmonics in there, yeah. That's cool. This guitar is very resonant. Let's try to do a little solo, huh? That's not amazing, but it's something. Alright, so at this point we've recorded quite a few guitar layers. Forgot it's plugged into my amp. Now what I'm going to try to do is lay out the track a little bit just so that I have some structure so I can record some drums. I have not tried to record drums with my injured finger, so we're going to see how this goes. God, that hurts. This is going to be awful. I'm warning you in advance. Alright, trying that again. We're trying that again. You know what? I think we're just gonna take that and run with it. Just so bad. Actually the worst drum playing I think I've ever done. Alright, so I think I'm gonna finish up the drums and this beat overall off camera because you guys know me, mixing drums takes me forever to do. But overall at this point I think I've pretty thoroughly tested out this Enya Inspire guitar, at least enough to give my closing thoughts on it here. So honestly, I'll say I was a bit surprised for a couple reasons. For one, I saw this guitar and I thought it looked really cool, but I wasn't expecting it to be like particularly amazing to play or anything. But I will say that I've actually been pleasantly surprised. The neck feels really nice and smooth. For this to be able to play this well right out of the box is pretty impressive. And I also will say that I was surprised by the speaker. Initially my thought was, okay, the speaker thing is a pretty cool idea, but I'm never gonna actually use that. But the more I messed around with it, the more I realized that it's actually really useful for just practicing. I was thinking about how nice this would have been to have when I was a kid, because I used to have to plug into this little tiny mini little amp thing. It sounded absolutely horrendous, and it was just another piece of gear you had to set up if you wanted to practice. Also, I feel like I definitely should mention how versatile this guitar is, not only because of the 2 single coils and humbucker, but because you can actually also split the coil, which is super nice. That just allows you to get such a wide range of tones out of the guitar. As far as the drawbacks on this guitar, I will say that the speaker is not like incredible quality or anything. It also doesn't get super loud, but that's kind of not really what it's made for. It's made to be like a convenient way to practice. And the only other issue I noticed was that sustain thing. That thing, but it really only happens if you're holding down notes for a really long time, so if you don't do that, you should be fine. Also, the guitar sounds perfectly good plugged into an amp or running DI, so you don't really need to use the practice amp. So honestly, this guitar is really good if you want to save some space, not having to buy a whole practice amp. Really well made, fun to play, I like the versatility, and also the built-in speaker, it definitely inspires you to play it quite a bit more. So yeah, I think that is pretty much going to do it for me in this video here today. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope you guys enjoyed checking out this guitar with me. Again, big shout out to Enya for sending this bad boy over. I've had a lot of fun messing around with it, and I'm definitely going to continue messing around with it. If you want to check out the guitar for yourself, there will be a link in the description below where you can do so. I thank you all very much for watching. As always, it is greatly appreciated. Stay safe out there, and I will see you all in the next video.